Have you guys ever won anything gaming?
I got
Uh,
close.
Moolinda
Friends.
laugh.
I won
Aw, that's
Oh,
friends.
cute.
No, I just
friendship.
started gaming.
Thanks, Skip.
No, I think this story's crazy though. Like from like the perspective of like we've known that people like win money like playing video games, but generally they're like at least like 23, like 24. You know, this guy's 16 years old. He just won $3 million playing Fortnite, the game that everyone makes fun of, and it's just like, dude, that's freaking crazy. So his name's Kyle Giersdorf. I don't know where he's from. I think he's from like New Maryland, New Maryland.
New
New
Good old
Maryland,
New
by
Maryland.
the way.
Yeah, well, when you have $3 million, it goes a long way in Maryland. He's gonna buy a little piece of land and make it New Maryland.
A little piece of land.
Thank you for the
That's
subscription
true,
there,
I guess.
Orphan. I appreciate it.
Orphan with the resub.
How's it going, man? It's been a while. We have Iskerlaw, Canadian, Twisted Steel.
Sub
That's like the deal.
slut.
That's
Orphan.
how he always comes in.
Orphan doesn't miss a beat. Doesn't matter how long.
No, what do you...
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
I guess like you heard all the story. Like this kid's mom like hated the fact that he played video games. She like got mad at him once and like broke a bunch of his like controllers and stuff because she was like mad that he was spending too much time like playing video games. And he just won $3 million. So
How crazy that is for him. He's like,
up
F you,
yours,
mom.
Mom.
No, like the amount of time that he like must have spent, like 8 hours a day. I think he said he was like practicing or something like that. Probably more, honestly. Which I think is like kind of wild, but it's also like I don't know. I feel like I spent 8 hours a day playing video games when I was a kid, and it was like I just wasn't getting good at them. I feel like kids are still gonna do that, but it's like it's literally crazy to think that like you put in all this work. Do you ever play Fortnite, Melinda?
I used to, but my computer is actually trash, so like it just doesn't like they keep updating it, and so it just get worse and worse. But I liked it better when they had like smokes in the game, so like probably at the very beginning. But I have friends that still play it and they really like it. It's like I like variety, so I don't like playing a game for like more than 2 hours, I guess, in a way. Like CS, I can only play 2 games of CS. Like that's it, max. Like at one sitting. And then I play League and like I don't know. I like to like change it up a lot, which like probably is alarming to my friends because they're like, okay, Melinda, just choose a game, please. But I don't think I could play Fortnite that often and like still like it, if that makes sense.
No, I definitely feel that. Like playing any game for that long, it feels like you should get burnt out. It's like crazy. I guess once you get like that good though, he's always winning, so like that feels cool. Like
Yeah, for sure.
apparently,
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
so yeah, I was just gonna say like 16 years old, he won $3 million. His take home's probably closer to like $1.5 million after taxes. It's a lot of fucking money. That's a lot of money to be 16. And I don't think you could luck your way through that tournament. Because we talked about it before in a previous podcast. There were like cheaters in that tournament. Like literally people that got caught cheating, banned, and then there were so many qualifiers that they were able to get back into the tournament again.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a lot of people in that tournament. So I don't think you could luck your way into a win through the whole, like, the rounds that they had.
No, it's so crazy too. So Buga was 16, right? He wasn't even the youngest player in the tournament. The youngest that you could qualify for it was 13. And there was a 13-year-old player when I was watching the World Cup a little bit. I was watching one of the games. His name was King, and guess what? This guy was second place after the first game. So shout out to my boy King out there. He's freaking killing it at the age of 13. Imagine like a 13-year-old playing football. Like that's so cool that they could compete at such a young age with like literally everybody in the world. Like he's the best Fortnite player. Yeah, well, maybe not. Like I don't know. I don't know if you can dispute that.
Farrakhan won €500 in a FIFA tournament, spent it all on women and booze, and the rest he squandered. Haha, that's a good line.
It's like winning a real FIFA tournament.
Yeah, that's like winning a real FIFA tournament. Have you guys ever won anything gaming?
Friends.
Laugh.
Oh,
Friends.
that's cute.
No, I just started gaming, so like I'm not good at anything. I'm gold in TFT.
See, there you go.
How long ago did you start gaming?
I got a computer probably 3 years ago, maybe, and then I was just playing with a group of friends, like super casually. I never played really anything competitively. still to this day, because I just like meeting new people and having a good time. Most of my streams, that's why most of my streams are like art streams, because like I'm not good at games.
You're
So
good at art though, that's for sure.
well, I don't. Okay, the things that I do don't require any talent.
I think you're very modest. I think you also froze. Oh, did everyone freeze? Everyone froze. Hold on, let me be right back.
Yeah.
That is really a crazy amount of money for somebody so young. Like if you think about it, like when I was 16, I was cheering and spending money on cheer uniforms and stuff like that. And I mean, you got to admire the kids like persistence with the game, because like I don't like the game anymore. Like the people who still like it, still actively play it, and like obviously there's like a different mindset when it comes to like competitive gaming and like actually trying to go pro in something, and then like just trying to have a good time and then hating it because you keep losing kind of thing.
Well,
But
and I know
I
like a
don't
lot of
know.
people who've tried to go pro in games, and it's just like even the people who are like so passionate about the game, they can't play it. You know, like I had friends with like Apex Legends who they were trying to go pro in that game, and it's just like they got so tired of it, which is funny
Yeah,
because it's a fun game. Like I don't know if you ever played Apex, but
I've never played Apex. I like vowed never play Apex. There's no
Uh,
reason why. I just wanted to make my friends who like played it. I'm just kind of upset.
I always felt too like, you know, especially as I get older and older and older and like further removed from it, but like kids that get like drafted into the NFL or NBA and they're like, they're 20, 21 years old, and then all of a sudden they have these multi-million-dollar contracts. I'm like, that's got to be hard not to let that go to your head and like blow that money. And a lot of them do. I think there's been enough failures at that now though, where that like hopefully I think kids are not falling into that trap as much anymore. And you hope that like this kid's got really
well,
like
that's what I was
good
worried about.
parents that's on top of it, and like you don't want the parents to blow all the money either.
Especially his
Yeah.
Like
mom.
that happens too, where like parents are like, well, I'm gonna take all of it, whatever. And these parents like dupe their kids out of their winnings, which I don't think is, ideal situation. But
It wouldn't be cool, but like I was just kind of curious, like what's next for this kid? Like where does he go? And I tuned into his stream today actually, and I think that's where he goes. He had 22,000 viewers actually on his stream, which is
Wow, that's
pretty
crazy.
incredible. And he seemed like a pretty chill guy, honestly. Like I don't know, I tuned in. He's 16, but like he seemed pretty calm. He wasn't like the screaming kid that you expect when you like tune into a 16-year-old's chat.
Hmm.
But like beyond that, 22,000 viewers, like that's 1.5 million that you were saying that's probably like his turnout, but it's like I don't know how much is he gonna get from streaming now, because that's like made his streaming career if he wants it, just winning a tournament like
Yeah,
that. But
for sure.
Orphan asks, has there been a higher payout for a tournament win? I don't think I've heard of another so high. No, that's there have been total prize pools much higher. I think the 2019 Dota prize pool was 8.5 million, but I think like first place got $1 million of that. And $1 million, I mean, obviously $1 million is still a lot of money. I'm not saying that it's not. $1 million for a Dota team is 5 players, probably
yeah,
2 subs, a coach. Like, there's a lot of people that get their hands into that $1 million or so. So $3 million for Fortnite. That's some dollars right there for sure. What's up, Logan?
I think they were all doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic today.
We have guest Moolinda on. How could we possibly not be?
Seriously,
Oh, stop, please.
I don't know, I just thought that was like an interesting topic to start the stream off with. Just like I don't think there's much more to talk about there besides the fact that like he's 16, has $3 million, it's Fortnite, and I think that esports probably didn't really get a lot of like respect in like the mainstream news actually past this. Like I don't know, I watched a lot of like news clips where people were kind of just making fun of the fact that he was like 16 and he won that much money playing Fortnite. They're like, oh, he's playing a video game and stuff, but it's like he puts in more hours than probably a competitive actual sports player does. Like
yeah.
because he can, but like also just because that's the culture of gaming. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
but anyway,
I have a question actually. So did both of y'all come from people like I guess your younger self like playing games for like X amount of hours every day? Like I just got into gaming, so like I didn't have that like kind of background. So like I hear 8 hours a day. And like, I mean, obviously I'm on the computer all the time now, but like before I was like cheering and I was playing tennis, and I was like at 16, my life was revolved or like involved with school and sports and boys, and like I had a boyfriend at the time, and like I can't even imagine putting that much amount having that much time
My life is
I mean,
heavily
if
involved with boys. Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you include King, my life is heavily involved with boys. Oh, Logan, you're sweet. It's nice that you include me in that, by the way. I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, when I was younger, when I was in public school, because I didn't go to public school until I graduated, only until like beginning of my sophomore year, but like I was still on like a football team and a wrestling team. And then like afterwards, like you work and you do all that stuff, but like I still always cut out time for gaming because gaming was um, always big to me. Like it was always a big part of my life. I'd gamed since I was little. Um, when we had an original Nintendo in our house, and that was like
Hmm.
the thing. But I've always made time for gaming. I'll always make time for gaming. I still make time for gaming. So yeah.
Did y'all's like parents have an issue with gaming like growing up, like this
No,
guy's?
I had a really I never spend that much time. Like I wouldn't sit in a room in like 8 hours like grind a game.
Hmm.
Like on weekends and stuff, if I didn't have other commitments and like my friends would come over and we would all play video games, then that was whatever. Um, but my dad was kind of a techie guy. He
Hmm.
was like, in the 70s and 80s working on like internet networks and stuff before anybody knew what it was. So he kind of saw gaming more normalized than I think a lot of
Yeah,
people, a lot of
for
parents,
sure.
especially when I was growing up, when in the 90s, where it was not as like you were a nerd if you were a gamer going to school, and
Hmm.
like not in a good way. And like now it's like the cool thing to be, which is it's cool to me, but it's also kind of surreal. It's like weird.
Yeah, for sure. How like full circle. Yeah, I asked because my dad is 70 years old. Like I'm 20. I turned 20 this year. He turned 70 this year. And so the age gap is like tremendous when it comes to like computers and like games and stuff. And so like he is always having an issue with me being on the computer now, and he's like, if you're playing games you better be getting paid for it, whatever. Like this kid
You
is like,
better
he
be getting
brings
paid
it up
for it.
literally, and I'm like, dad, just like don't talk to me like this
Dude,
is
can
for
we
fun.
just really quick take a moment to highlight Moolinda's dad getting down at 50 still? Because that age gap is legit. Way to
My mom
go.
is 17 years younger than
Way to go,
That's okay.
Mr. Moolinda. Dude, give that guy a
mom.
fucking high five for me.
Yeah, he's
Just
a
walk out
G.
there and
He
be like,
really
this
is.
is from Goatus, and then high five him.
Will do. Will do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy. But he doesn't understand. You know what I mean? He doesn't understand like what gaming is, and like what it means to have online friends, and then like how they are actually real people and stuff like that. So my gaming experiences like with my parents is like, they're like, you need to spend more time with us or whatever. No matter how much time I spend with them, they're always complaining that I'm on the computer for like way too long. But I don't know. So I don't know about what y'all's experiences are like, but
I can't
I have.
remember like growing up, but I think that my parents like were like I don't think that they ever really had a problem with it. I do remember like my older brother was the one that got us into it. So when my older brother he asked for a PS2, that was like our first console, and my parents
Hmm.
were like, my mom was like, absolutely not, and my dad was like maybe we'll just get it for him, and my mom was like, absolutely not, and then like they agreed on it and they decided to get him like a PS or maybe it was a PS1, I don't remember. But they bought him one, and then like that was like it. Like after that, we got an Xbox, we got a PC. He
Hmm.
started working on PC games. So my brother was the one that got us into it entirely. But like
Yeah.
even my streaming content and stuff like that, my parents actually they do watch some of my content. They will they we don't really talk. Like I talk about my content itself, but they don't really talk about the fact that they watch it a lot of the times. They'll just like
Hmm.
they'll throw in that they have watched it. I know my dad has seen a lot of my Twitch Sings stuff, and like they hear
Hmm.
me because I don't actually have a door
Yeah.
on my setup.
I sit in the living room, if you can't tell.
Yeah.
Like there's no door. The kitchen's right here.
Um,
So
so my parents have been pretty supportive of it all, so that's kind of nice. But
that's good.
yeah,
Yeah. Wonder what that's like.
Farrico says, folks were happy enough with me gaming. I'd probably have been drinking and said otherwise. Remember when TV came along? It was more interesting than radio. It's kind of like that. That's how I explain it to my old man. Skip says
Yeah.
parents hated it, but just smoked weed and kept playing. Love to hear what else chat has to say. Rest of chat, let us know what your parents thought about your Your addictive
Honestly,
gaming habits. We want to
I
know.
told my parents, I'm like, I could be like in jail right now. Like I could be I have a bunch of friends that I went to high school with who are like, like terrible people now, and I'm like, I could be doing that, but instead I'm doing my homework and I'm playing video games.
Yeah.
Like what more can you ask from me? I'm going to work. Like I'm actually functioning as a human being in society, but yeah, so I just wanted to know what y'all thought about that.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, like, the disconnect, because like a lot of our parents, or most of our parents, didn't grow up with the internet, like, so it's like really weird when like we spend all of our time on it and they're just like, what are you doing? Like,
For sure.
so, but
My
Skippy.
dad asks me how to close out of a tab on his phone or send an email or something, and I'm like, okay, I understand that you're my father, but you got to give me a little bit here. Like, please, just like, don't ask me the same question 4 times. Like, learn the first time I walk you through it.
mine don't complain about it, or they don't ask about it. They just complain about it until I like go and help them. It's like
Yep.
that's the trade off. It's like if I wanna hear them stop complaining, I need to go help them. Like, but
For sure.
I'm helping my parents right now with Facebook.
Oh
Which they've
no.
been very, very, very. They're very anti-social media, especially my dad. My dad is like my dad puts tape on all the cameras on devices like iPads and phones and stuff.
Mhm.
oh yeah, you told me.
Like colored tape. Yeah, he's nuts. He's insane. I was like, nobody wants to spy on you. You're not that fucking. But like, he doesn't want Facebook. But they have a business, and I was like, you guys have to be on Facebook with the business. Like, you have to have social media if you're gonna have a business.
That's true.
I was like, please, just at least a Facebook. Like, if you don't want to get Twitter and all that other stuff, like, that's cool. I get it. I know it's overwhelming. So I've been helping them with Facebook, and I haven't even realized like the stuff that is so obvious to me because my
Mhm.
dad won't do it at all, and he's the tech savvy one of my parents. Like, he doesn't even want to touch it, so it's up to my mom to figure it out. And like the question she will call me with is just hilarious. Like, but it's not like if you've never used it, you don't know.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
we just take it for granted that we've been using it forever and ever. But
Do you have like an
Yeah,
example of a question that she might have called you with?
I mean, just like with posting pictures and stuff, like changing them, or like when she does like albums, and like, like if you put like more than 5 albums up, it has like a see more link. And she's like, where the rest of my albums go? I'm like, they're there. I promise you, they're there. And she's like, well, nobody's gonna see them. Like, they're gonna see it. Don't worry, it's okay. Um, Isker said they got me into gaming. Used to play with my siblings and I. Then I was playing Halo. They were getting worried. It was definitely like 10 hours a day. Orphan teaching the Stone Age peeps about fire. Yeah, basically. My mother likes Pac-Man and was intrigued by Zelda over Christmas. Is this what video games are? She was genuinely shocked. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
like
that's another big
Pong.
thing too.
Like we used to be Pong, and here we are with like virtual reality. Like it's crazy, like how much things have changed, just with technology and stuff. It's kind of scary, kind of
Um,
good, kind of scary.
I
But
remember my dad was complaining about how he during the election he was getting really upset because he kept seeing like all of those like fake articles and stuff, like the the Russian fake articles or whatever, like just slandering people and stuff. He was like, "There's so many of them," and I was like, "Well, you're seeing them because you're interacting with them." Like,
yeah, literally.
like that's how that works. Like I haven't seen any of them just because I don't interact with politics, and Facebook knows that I don't, so they don't push politics into my feed, But like,
Mm.
I think that's funny. Anyway.